Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Suyan and others looked at the distant planet. On that planet, there are flames and lightning everywhere, like a crater, which may erupt a huge lava at any time and burn the planet clean. These thunder flames are not harmful to these interstellar lords. At most they will add a few more scars to their bodies. For others, it is a bit troublesome. This planet should be the planet of that mysterious interstellar civilization. That's right, it's here. This planet is the planet of this interstellar civilization. Its technology is so advanced that it is many times more advanced than our planet. It is simply a world of difference. What treasures are there on this planet? No matter what treasures there are. Anyway, we must destroy this Hyperion now. If we let this Hyperion leave this galaxy and reach other star fields, we will have no way to stop it. That's right. The Hyperion can only be destroyed. These interstellar lords looked at the planet in the distance with serious expressions, as if there was something terrible on this planet that would hurt them. They also don't want to go head to head with the planet, because they are not sure that they can compete against this planet once they are attacked by the turrets, combat machines, spaceships, etc. On this planet, they will suffer heavy losses. They also don't want to confront the armed forces on this planet. That's why they tried every means to destroy the Hyperion and completely eliminate this hidden danger. Rumble. All of a sudden, the bridges of the Hyperion suddenly started automatically. Just like that, the Hyperion slowly flew towards this huge planet from a distance. The Hyperion's speed was extremely astonishing. It broke through the limitation of space in an instant and arrived in front of this huge planet. Here comes the Hyperion. The Hyperion has really come, and it seems that it wants to destroy this planet. The speed of the Hyperion is so fast that it can catch up with us in such a short period of time, which is really shocking. The sudden appearance of this Hyperion also shocked many interstellar lords present, and made them feel the horror of this Hyperion at once. The speed of this Hyperion was really too fast, and it caught up with their interstellar spaceship in an instant. This is a tyrannical warship, with the power to destroy the world. This battleship can destroy this planet in an instant, blowing up the entire planet, turning it into nothingness, and turning it into cosmic dust. At this time, the Hyperion, like a fort, suddenly launched missiles one after another. These missiles, with astonishing speed, flew in front of the starships of these star lords in the blink of an eye. Bang bang bang. One after another, the missiles slammed into the shell of the interstellar spacecraft. Under the attack of these missiles, the shells of these interstellar spacecraft also showed a crack, as if they were about to collapse. Quickly use the defensive shield to resist these missiles, otherwise we will die. At this time, an interstellar lord hurriedly shouted, and he quickly controlled his spaceship to resist the attack of these missiles. After the guided attack, the defensive shield on the interstellar spacecraft continued to collapse, but stabilized, and a lot of defensive power was added. However, it will take some time to repair this starship, otherwise, the defense force of this interstellar spacecraft would not be able to resist these attacks at all. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and flew to this planet. This Hyperion is staying in the sky thousands of kilometers away from this planet. Above this distance, even if there is artillery fire, it cannot hit this Hyperion. So, the Hyperion is safe for the time being. Rumble. The Hyperion stayed high in the sky, with a pair of huge eyes, looking at these interstellar lords. The metal shell on the Hyperion immediately changed. One by one metal gears were spinning on the Hyperion. A terrifying gravitational force was produced. Under the action of this terrifying gravitational force, the outer metal deck of the Hyperion was actually peeled off, exposing the extremely hard outer deck inside. These outer decks fell off, revealing a pair of metal components, like metal arms one by one. In the center of these outer decks, there are metal helmets one by one. These metal helmets are all made of pieces of metal. Each has the size of a fist, and they can also release bursts of terrifying electric current and terrifying energy, which is very powerful. Inside these metal helmets are huge metal turrets. Inside these turrets, there are all kinds of shells, some turrets, and many muzzles. They are all aimed at the surrounding areas. Once any changes are found, they will be aimed at this area immediately. The Hyperion is a war fortress, a terrifying war fortress that can destroy the entire interstellar universe. What a terrifying war fortress. This war fortress is really too powerful. It can easily tear apart these interstellar spaceships. and its power is simply beyond my imagination. The interstellar spaceships on this planet are simply unbearable. One hit. It is a monster. Its appearance is too strange. It looks like a wild beast. Its appearance is in the shape of a cylinder, and it also exudes a strong breath. It seems that this war fortress must be a powerful weapon, otherwise, how could this war fortress be so powerful? Yes, this war fortress looks really weird. It looks like a monster. It looks very scary, and there are so many missiles on it, and the speed of these missiles is so fast. It is simply not what our speed can keep up with. The moment the Hyperion appeared, it had already attracted the attention of all the Star Lords. These interstellar lords are all talking about the Hyperion. At this time, Su Yan was controlling the Hyperion, which immediately made them feel palpitations. This is a huge danger. The Hyperion's attack was truly terrifying. Once an attack is launched, even the shield of the starship may not be able to protect them. The turret of the Hyperion was facing them. As long as they dare to attack the Hyperion, Su Yan will attack them without hesitation. You guys, get out of here quickly. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and shouted loudly. These Star Lords all jumped off the Hyperion when they heard Su Yan's shout. On the Hyperion, rays of light flickered, and some interstellar lords flew down from the Hyperion. These Star Lords all landed on the ground one after another. They all stood on the ground and looked at the Hyperion, full of fear in their hearts. The threat of this Hyperion is really terrifying. If the Hyperion really launches an attack, I am afraid that all the Star Lords, 973, here will not be able to escape. Who are you? Why are you piloting this Hyperion? These interstellar lords all asked one after another, wanting to know who owns this Hyperion. The Hyperion can be said to be the most powerful weapon, a war fortress that can rival the strategic level. This Hyperion is also the nightmare of this group of interstellar lords. They were afraid that one day, their starship would be destroyed by the Hyperion. They paid close attention to the Hyperion, and wanted to find out, which powerful force does this Hyperion belong to? Su Yan looked at these interstellar lords, and he said with a smile, everyone, it doesn't matter who I am, the important thing is that you are all my enemies. I don't care what your origins or backgrounds are, but you are all mine. I will kill all of you, collect your corpses, make them into puppets, and use them for slavery. Damn, this Su Yan is so arrogant. He wants to enslave us. How can we let him succeed? With so many of us, are we still afraid of his war fortress? We attack together, and we can definitely destroy this Hyperion. Yes, the defense factor of this Hyperion is too terrifying. There are so many turrets in this war fortress. Once fired, the power is absolutely extraordinary. Once a shell is fired by it, then we starships will be destroyed. This Su Yan is too arrogant. Why should he say such a thing? This Hyperion is really terrifying. With so many of us, are we still afraid of this war fortress? These interstellar lords all talked about it one after another. Su Yan, who are you and why are you driving this war fortress? I am the ruler of this interstellar territory. My name is Arts. What did you mean just now? Do you want to destroy my interstellar territory? You crazy bastard, even dare to do this. I will definitely kill you. You will pay the price for breaking the corpse into 10,000 pieces. This Arts interstellar lord roared and shouted. His face was very ferocious. His body was constantly trembling, showing the anger and fear in his heart. The power of this Hyperion was far beyond his expectation. If this Hyperion launches an attack on this interstellar territory, these interstellar lords will probably die under the guns of this Hyperion. You despicable and shameless thing, you dare to launch an attack on this interstellar territory. Don't forget, this is your interstellar territory. This is your homeland. You actually want to destroy this homeland. You are really too shameless. Several other interstellar lords also reprimanded angrily. These interstellar lords are the leaders of their respective territories. They are the top experts in this interstellar territory, and they usually don't go out easily. But this time they did so in order to keep this interstellar territory. They also want to see what kind of strength Su Yan possesses. In their view, this human race youth is a lunatic who does not know how to live or die. How could a human youth be able to control a Hyperion? This is simply impossible. Therefore, they always believed that Su Yan was just bragging. They didn't believe Su Yan's words at all, thinking it was just Su Yan trying to scare them. The Hyperion was floating in the sky. A series of terrifying energies were also released from it, and diffused in all directions. Rumble, ripples of energy also spread in all directions. At this time, the Hyperion began to move its muzzle slowly. On the Hyperion, a series of giant muzzles began to rotate slowly. A series of terrifying air currents also kept pouring into the muzzle, causing the Hyperion to exude a terrifying aura. On a war fortress, there are huge muzzles, with a total of 32 muzzles. There are also many turrets in this Hyperion. Su Yan steered the Hyperion and landed in the sky. Waves of energy ripples were also transmitted out, making the entire Hyperion look like an aircraft carrier. Very domineering. Damn, we're all on it. This Hyperion is too scary. We have so many interstellar lords united. We can't believe it. There is nothing we can do about a Hyperion. So many of us Star Lords unite. So many of us Star Lords unite. We will definitely be able to destroy this Hyperion. At this time, these interstellar lords shouted and cursed indignantly. Ha ha ha. Do you think this can stop me? I advise you to save some effort and surrender obediently. Maybe you can still live. Su Yan stood on the deck and sneered at the group of Star Lords. The Hyperion's gunfire was about to erupt. Bang, bang. At this 4.1 time, the sound of explosions spread in Su Guan's ears. Inside the Hyperion, planets exploded. Boom. A series of violent explosions spread around the Hyperion. The energy cannons of these planets all bombarded the energy shield of the Hyperion in an instant. A series of energy ripples also swept away towards the surroundings. This Hyperion, like a piece of steel, has withstood so many artillery attacks without any damage, but instead made the Hyperion shell harden. In front of my Hyperion, your planet is almost as fragile as tofu. Your planet can't withstand my artillery fire at all. I want you to die under the attack of this Hyperion. Down. Boom. Energy cannons from one planet after another continuously bombarded the Hyperion, but the Hyperion was still unscathed. As I said, you group of ants cannot withstand the artillery attack of my ship Hyperion. Su Yan stood inside the Hyperion, staring at these Star Lords coldly, and snorted mockingly. Fire. Under his order, 16 shells suddenly appeared on the Hyperion. These shells quickly flew towards the distance. Boom. The sound of explosions resounded in the distance, making these interstellar lords feel very frightened and worried. The attack of these cannonballs was much stronger than Su Yan's energy cannon, and they couldn't dodge the attack of these cannonballs at all. These 16 shells bombarded the group of interstellar lords. Flash. These interstellar lords immediately opened the nebula layer and blocked all these energy cannons. Their nebula layer was also violently shaken by the bombardment, making them tremble involuntarily. The shells of the Hyperion are not just these energy cannons. Around this Hyperion, there are many Star Lords, who are manipulating some Star Lords, and firing artillery fire together. The energy manipulated by these interstellar lords is also extremely powerful. The energy they manipulate is equally powerful. Whether it is the energy cannon, or the interstellar lord on the fort, they are all powerful. The energy they manipulate is enough to raise a small star field to the ground. But in front of this Hyperion, the energy cannon they fired couldn't hurt the Hyperion at all. Boom, boom. After this round of attacks ended, the Hyperion began to attack the Star Lords below again. This time, the shells fired by the Hyperion were more powerful than the shells fired just now. This level of power is much more terrifying than the energy cannon fired by Su Yan before. The energy cannon fired by Su Yan is powerful enough to destroy a galaxy, but this kind of energy cannon can only be used in the void of the universe. In the area near the stars, the power is greatly reduced. At this distance, the energy cannon fired cannot harm a galaxy at all, nor can it penetrate a Hyperion. The power of the energy cannon used by Su Yan has been increased several times. Boom. Cannonballs flew across the air, constantly bombarding the defense layers of these interstellar lords, and the sound of explosions was endless. These interstellar lords were knocked back hundreds of meters by the energy bombardment. In front of the Hyperion, the defense of these Star Lords is really fragile. Boom, boom. Inside the Hyperion, shells splashed out one after another, making this area extremely messy. The turret on the Hyperion also started firing energy cannons, attacking the group of interstellar lords. These shells, on the Hyperion, shot towards the group of interstellar lords like flowing water. The speed of these shells is very fast, and flying in the air will not cause too much shock, so it is not easy to be found at all. However, these interstellar lords all have interstellar warships, and when they fired energy cannons, they were already ready for early warning. Therefore, all the energy cannons fired by these interstellar lords were also fired, blocking the shells fired by the Hyperion. Energy cannons collided together in the air, causing a violent explosion. On the Hyperion, 10,000 shells are fired every second, and on the turret of this interstellar warship, there are a total of 15 turrets, and each turret requires a lot of energy cannons. Calculated in this way, the Hyperion fires 3,000 energy cannons per second. That is, 300 million energy cannons. The consumption of such shells is also extremely huge. Let's fire the energy cannon together and sink this ship. At this time, these interstellar lords also fired energy cannons one after another, bombarding the Hyperion. Bang bang. There were bursts of huge collision sounds, and energy cannons were continuously fired from the Hyperion. Confronting the energy cannons of these interstellar lords, the battle between the two war robots became more and more intense. Roar! These interstellar lords roared again and again, their eyes were blood red, and they fired energy cannons one after another, bombarding Su Yan. The energy cannon of the Hyperion controlled by Su Yan will bombard the defenses of these interstellar lords every time it attacks, and then a violent explosion will occur. The Hyperion is a super strategic weapon. Once the energy shield is turned on, it is in the center of the battlefield. The power it can unleash is limitless and fundamentally endless. Even if the strength of these interstellar lords is much higher than that of the Hyperion, they are powerless in front of the energy cannon of this Hyperion. The energy cannon fired by the Hyperion can't break the Hyperion's 577 defense at all. Under the attack of the Hyperion, each of these star lords was bombarded by energy and retreated again and again. In the confrontation between the interstellar warship and the energy cannon, in the end, the Hyperion still had the upper hand and suppressed all the interstellar lords. Damn, are we really going to lose to a battleship? A star lord growled angrily. The combat ability of the Hyperion is really too powerful, and its defense is also a headache, and there is no way to take the Hyperion for a while. This ship doesn't belong to our cosmic world at all. Some monsters came out of nowhere to be able to drive such an advanced warship. Another star lord yelled angrily. No, we must unite to destroy this battleship, and then snatch the piloting right of this battleship. At this time, another interstellar lord shouted. The performance of this battleship is too powerful, and such a battleship falls into their hands, it is simply a disaster for them. So this battleship, they are definitely not willing to give up. No, we have so many interstellar lords teaming up, it may not be the opponent of the Hyperion. This battleship is too powerful. We have to think of a way to deal with this battleship. We should unite and resist this battleship together. No matter what, we have to destroy this battleship and prevent him from growing up. This battleship must have some kind of hidden function. Let us unite to find out this function, and then destroy this battleship in one fell swoop. These interstellar lords started discussing one after another. Su Yan sneered, a group of arrogant idiots, just by you. Want to deal with me? As Su Yan said, he fired an energy cannon. This energy cannon flew out in an instant, flying towards an interstellar lord. Pooh! This energy cannon directly pierced through the body of the interstellar lord, piercing the chest of the interstellar lord, and a stream of blood gushed out from the interstellar lord's body. What? The interstellar lord suddenly howled in pain, clutching his chest, and kept rolling. From his wound, blood was overflowing crazily. This was because he was hit by a cannon. The interstellar lord also knew that this battleship was not something he could deal with at all. He couldn't match it at all, and could only watch Su Yan's energy cannon hit him, and then was killed by Su Yan. To be able to release the energy cannon so far, and even kill an interstellar lord, this battleship is really too powerful. If it weren't for the cooperation of so many of our interstellar lords, I am afraid that it would not be the opponent of this battleship at all. What is this battleship? All the interstellar lords were shocked. None of them thought that this seemingly ordinary battleship actually possessed such terrifying combat power. Su Yan manipulated the Hyperion and continued to bombard these star lords. Boom! The energy cannon roared, and energy shells shot out from the energy cannon, bombarding all the interstellar lords. These interstellar lords are all existences with similar strengths. Cooperating with each other, they can also exert quite a powerful force, and they can also compete against each other. During this process, these interstellar lords were not idle. These interstellar lords also started to attack one after another. Energy shells bombarded the Hyperion one after another. Rumble! Energy cannonballs collided in the air, bursting out clusters of flames, and these flames continued to wreak havoc in the air. This scene shocked many people. Such a scene is really spectacular. The attack of an interstellar lord bombarded the Hyperion, like a stone thrown into a lake, causing waves. The energy shield of the Hyperion is still strong, and there is no way for the energy shells of these interstellar lords to bombard it. All the interstellar lords were shocked. Although the Hyperion has no way to kill the star lords, it can force the star lords to retreat. It can also cause a little damage to these interstellar lords. Damn it! Go on, after we leave your universe, your doomsday will come. You just wait for me. These interstellar lords cursed one after another. They were all extremely angry, and amidst the angry curses of these interstellar lords, energy shells shot towards them again, and they also avoided the past one after another. They also understand that this battleship is really too powerful. It is better for them not to provoke this battleship now. After all, they do not have enough confidence in front of this battleship. However, their hearts were filled with hatred, This battleship is definitely not a simple battleship. There must be a huge force behind it. Perhaps behind this battleship is a huge cosmic civilization. We must not let him grow up, otherwise we will be in danger. These human beings must not be allowed to stay. They must be cut down immediately. We must rush to the Milky Way immediately to find the lords of other interstellar civilizations. Together, we will destroy this battleship and then go to find the next interstellar civilization. These interstellar lords are all very smart. They have already decided to take this opportunity to eradicate Su Yan. Looking at the Hyperion, Su Yan couldn't help but secretly admire it. This Hyperion was indeed very powerful, and it was able to defeat all these interstellar lords, and even kill them all. Well, since they have all retreated, there is no need for us to pursue them anymore. Our mission is complete and we can return, Su Yan said to the Hyperion. The soldiers on the Hyperion also put away their warships and headed back towards the Milky Way. Behind the Hyperion, space battleships followed closely behind the Hyperion. Space battleships followed the Hyperion closely and headed towards the Milky Way. Battleships fired energy cannons at Su Yan continuously, bombarding Su Yan. Su Yan controlled the battleships to dodge. Rumble. Energy shells landed on the Hyperion one after another, shaking the Hyperion from the bombardment. This warship is so powerful that it can easily resist even our attacks. This human being is really terrifying, an interstellar lord said with emotion. He is nothing more than a battleship. Does he still dare to attack us? Another interstellar lord said with a cold snort. We should not take it lightly. I don't know why, ManhwaRecap. I always feel that this human being is evil and very powerful. If we can't solve him as soon as possible, we will fall into his conspiracy sooner or later. I can't see through this Hyperion. We'd better escape here as soon as possible, so as not to fall into his trap. These interstellar lords talked a lot, and each of them was very afraid of Su Yan. They also did not expect that this human being is so powerful. The defensive power of the Hyperion is really amazing. The attacks of these interstellar lords did not pose any threat to the Hyperion at all. Moreover, their attacks can also bounce back to themselves, causing them to suffer heavy losses. These interstellar lords did not dare to attack the Hyperion at all, because they were afraid of the Hyperion. They fired zombie guns again to kill them. To be able to come up with such a way to force us back is really abominable. A Star Lord roared. At this time, these interstellar lords were all very regretful that they did not continue to attack this battleship just now. In this way, they will fall into the siege of this warship, and in that case, they will be in danger. Well, let's withdraw to the universe first, and then discuss countermeasures. Another Star Lord said. This group of them has now all gathered together, and flew in one direction together. The Hyperion also continued to chase behind, while constantly firing energy shells, attacking those interstellar lords. These interstellar lords were also very angry, but these interstellar lords did not dare to continue attacking Su Yan. After all, they had seen the power of this battleship with their own eyes. Su Yan originally wanted to wipe out the group of interstellar lords, but he didn't expect that the group of interstellar lords would run away one by one, which made the outcome of this battle not very good. However, in this 703 battle, Su Yan did not lose, only lost a few warships. These interstellar lords fled, and they temporarily gave up chasing these interstellar lords. After all, they still need to fight in the universe. In this war, they did not continue to pursue it for the time being. Su Yan drove the Hyperion, slowly flying in the void of the universe, and flew towards other places in the universe. However, after they flew for half a month, they encountered a warship. It was a space battleship of the Milky Way, and Su Yan ignored it. The space battleship of the galaxy. Su Yan has seen a lot. These space battleships were all built by the space civilizations of the Milky Way. These cosmic civilizations are also very powerful existences, and they are still very united. They support each other and jointly fight against alien invasions. In the Milky Way, there is also an interstellar army. Their combat effectiveness is very powerful, and they can also mobilize resources in the universe to help them train. The cosmic civilization in the Milky Way is a huge race, and they have many types of civilizations, CDBF, but they are a very terrifying force. Just when the Hyperion was about to approach the space battleship, dense energy cannonballs suddenly came out from inside the space battleship, bombarding the Hyperion. Boom, boom, boom. There was a loud noise, and the defensive power of the Hyperion was bombarded by these energy shells. Su Yan controls the defensive power of the Hyperion, and continues to increase the speed of energy transmission, making the defensive power of the Hyperion more and more powerful. These interstellar lords are a bit interesting. Su Yan laughed. He also didn't expect that these interstellar lords would be so cunning. None of them would attack him, but they would use such tricks to consume his energy. However, the Hyperion's defense is very strong, and these energy shells can't pose a threat to him at all. Not long after, This space battleship of the Milky Way flew to the front of the Hyperion. The interstellar lords on this space battleship released energy shells one after another, continuously bombarding the Hyperion boom. The surface of the Hyperion was constantly bombarded by energy shells, causing violent explosions. Looking at the scene ahead, Su Yan couldn't help frowning. He didn't expect these interstellar lords to be so stubborn and refuse to leave. Su Yan continued to fly the Hyperion, and he was going to wear down the patience of these star lords first, so that they would give up attacking the Hyperion. You can take the Hyperion and continue to fly forward until you eliminate them. Although it is very risky to do so, Su Yan also really wants to try this tactic. The Hyperion continued to fly forward, and flew forward for 500 million kilometers before finally stopping, and no longer moving forward. This Hyperion ship docked on a planet. Hyperion stopped on the planet, and then waited on this planet. The group of interstellar lords on the Hyperion did not continue to attack the Hyperion, because they already know that the Hyperion will not continue to fly, and there is no need for them to waste energy. They stopped one by one and waited quietly. In this space battleship of the Milky Way, in a huge cabin, the interstellar lords on this battleship all gathered on this space battleship, each with a solemn face. "Everyone, what do you think we should do with that battleship?" The captain of this space battleship asked these interstellar lords. "That kid actually dared to attack us. He did this. He was looking for death. We must kill him. Tell our master about this. Let him know what happened to us," said a star lord. "Yes, make them pay. Yes, we can never forgive him." These interstellar lords shouted one by one, looking very excited. "What should we do now, gentlemen?" asked the captain of the space battleship. "What else can we do? Kill him. We can't just let it go. We must take revenge, so that our dignity can be washed away. We can't just let this go. Kill him." These interstellar lords shouted one by one. "That being the case, let's go, now that we have the advantage." "There is nothing to be afraid of," said a star lord. "It is good." Afterwards, the captain of the space battleship drove the space battleship, and flew towards the Hyperion with many interstellar lords. These interstellar lords are all very excited, each of them is simmering with anger in their hearts, and now is just the time to vent their anger. They all became nervous. They were all looking forward to Su Yan coming over soon, and they raped Su Yan well. Each of them hoped in their hearts that they could beat Su Yan hard. On the Hyperion, Su Yan is still manipulating the Hyperion, shuttling through the universe. The Hyperion's flying speed was extremely fast, and it was also very strong. They couldn't break through the Hyperion at all. Not long after, this space battleship of the Milky Way reached the top of this planet and stopped. "Fire me, shoot me hard and teach him a lesson. We must hit this ship hard." On the space battleship, these interstellar lords all clamored. They were full of resentment towards the Hyperion, hoping to teach Su Yan a lesson, and then let Su Yan know that if they offended them, they would take revenge and pay a heavy price. Call out. The energy shield on the Hyperion opened instantly. Immediately afterwards, one after another missiles were shot out from the muzzle of the Hyperion. These missiles fell towards the planet below one by one. Rumble. Amidst the sound of explosions, the school's Nenguang shells, it exploded on the surface of this planet, and mushroom clouds rose up one after another. The energy shock waves generated by these energy shells shattered the soil on the surface of the planet. Ah, what a powerful attack energy. It's really terrifying. These energy cannonballs are really too strong. They are simply destructive attack power. The energy defense system of this Hyperion is really too powerful. At the place where these energy shells exploded, many star lords cried out in surprise when they saw such a picture. At this moment, they finally knew how powerful this Hyperion was. It turns out that the Hyperion is really a very powerful super battleship. The Hyperion is indeed very powerful, but at this level, it cannot stop us at all, the Star Lord said with a sneer. "Haha, then let's continue to attack and destroy it directly," some interstellar lords clamored. Rumble. The Hyperion continued to attack. The interstellar lords on the space battleship of this galaxy are not to be outdone. They all fired their own energy beam cannons, one by one energy beam cannons, and blasted towards the Hyperion. The screens on the Hyperion show those energy beam cannons hitting the Hyperion's energy shield. The energy shield of the Hyperion was attacked again and again, and suffered damage again and again. In such an attack, the damage to the energy shield became more and more serious. While the energy shield is suffering from these attacks, this energy shield will also consume a lot, and soon the energy shield on the energy shield will also be exhausted. Rumble. The energy shield on the Hyperion quickly became very fragile. These interstellar lords looked at it and felt a little relieved. With smug smiles on their faces, they feel that they have won this battle. Their victory is a victory within easy reach. On the Hyperion, Su Yan's face became gloomy. He did not expect that these interstellar lords would be so rampant. They dared to attack the Hyperion so unscrupulously. It was really abominable. "Increase the energy output for me," I want to see how much energy they have, which can withstand my energy shell attack, Su Yan thought secretly in his heart. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion, and continued to activate his own energy defense system. One after another energy shells exploded in the air. Inside the energy shield of the Hyperion, those interstellar lords looked at this scene, all showing proud smiles. During this process, although the Hyperion's energy shield suffered huge attacks and was constantly shattered, the Hyperion also suffered huge losses. About 1/3 of the energy shield of the Hyperion has been lost. Only 2/3 of the energy shield on the Hyperion is left, and it seems that its energy defense system is about to collapse. If this continues, it will only take a second or two before the Hyperion will be completely destroyed. Seeing this picture, these interstellar lords thought happily. Increase the energy output for me, Su Yan ordered. A thick beam of energy streaked across the air, and ruthlessly shot towards the energy shield of the Hyperion. Click. Accompanied by a sound, the energy shield of the Hyperion became weaker under the bombardment of this energy beam. How can that be? We have been attacking it for so long, and it is really surprising that there is not even a trace of damage. Alright, keep attacking. Let the Hyperion's energy shield completely collapse. This group of interstellar lords continued to attack frantically. Seeing this situation, Su Yan frowned. If this continues, the Hyperion will definitely be defeated by this attack from this space battleship. Now these interstellar lords are constantly bombarding the energy shield of the Hyperion. They want to use this method to completely destroy the energy shield of the Hyperion. The Hyperion has been seriously injured. In this case, if it cannot be repaired in time, the energy shield of the Hyperion will be completely broken, and the Hyperion string will be destroyed by this space battleship. You can't sit idly by like this. Thinking of this, Su Yan immediately steered the Hyperion, turned around, and flew towards the other side. On the other side, the Star Lords were dumbfounded when they saw the Hyperion change direction. The energy shield of the Hyperion only has 1/3 of its energy left, and now the Hyperion has actually changed its course. Is it possible? The Hyperion, are you planning to escape? When these interstellar lords saw this, they couldn't help but be very puzzled. They don't understand. What is Su Yan planning to do? Just when these Star Lords were puzzled, a thick energy beam was launched from the Hyperion operated by Su Yan. Call out. The energy beam reached the space battleship in an instant. This distance is already quite close. For Su Yan at this distance, he can hit the space battleship with an energy beam in the blink of an eye. Boom. Energy beams bombarded the space battleship. The energy defense system of the space battleship was pierced by this light beam, and a huge energy fluctuation spread. The space battleship was blown up in an instant, followed by violent tremors. The interstellar lords in the space battleship were all shocked by this energy fluctuation. They also did not expect that the Hyperion would have such a powerful attack force. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion, and quickly flew to the other side, trying to escape. The energy shield of the Hyperion only has 1/3 of its energy left. If it does not escape, the energy shield of the Hyperion will really be destroyed by the attack of this interstellar warship. Although this Hyperion is not a star warship, its performance is not bad, and under Su Yan's control, the Hyperion's speed is quite fast. Under the control of the Hyperion, the speed of the Hyperion has reached an extremely terrifying level. At this time, Su Yan can easily avoid the attack of 467 by the Star Lords. Star Lords, there is no way to lock Su Yan, and there is no way to attack Su Yan. In this interstellar warship, the interstellar lords were all frightened by Su Yan's attack just now, and they didn't dare to launch an attack on Su Yan. Damn it, the Hyperion has flown away. He escaped. Hateful. How so? In the mouths of these interstellar lords, there were angry complaints. However, their attacks did not stop. Under the control of Su Yan, the Hyperion has already flown far away. They wanted to pursue, but they couldn't catch up. This interstellar battleship has been damaged by the Hyperion, and it is no longer suitable for combat. The Star Lords could only abandon the space battleship and let the Hyperion escape. Su Yan manipulated the Hyperion and flew towards the distance. Leaving this area, the speed of the Hyperion was very fast, and Su Yan was manipulating the Hyperion, and left this area very quickly. Su Yan saw that the energy shield of the starship behind him was recovering rapidly, and he didn't know how far it would recover. He looked around at the Star Lords, with a grim smile on his face. These guys just pushed him into a desperate situation, and he didn't let it go so easily. Whoosh! Dozens of energy beams spewed out from the energy shield of the Hyperion in an instant, attacking the interstellar lords behind. No. The Star Lords saw dozens of energy beams coming from behind, and they all screamed in a hurry, but to no avail. These dozens of energy beams all hit them. The energy shields of these dozens of interstellar lords were poked apart by energy beams like balloons. The Star Lords also lost the ability to fight, so the Hyperion continued to fly. This seems to be procrastinating for time. Yeah, it looks like they are waiting for reinforcements. Damn it, there are so many of us. Can't we catch him alone? That's right, although the Hyperion is very powerful, with so many of us, can't we take him down? All the Star Lords became angry, and they chased after Su Yan one after another, trying to catch Su Yan. But how could their speed be comparable to Su Yan? Their speed is simply not comparable to the Hyperion. This group of rubbish is really beyond their control. Seeing the Star Lords following up, Su Yan had a sneer on his face. The Star Lords are still a little too overreaching. Su Yan controls the Hyperion, flying fast, trying to get rid of the Star Lords. Although the Star Lords want to capture the Hyperion, but the Hyperion's flight speed is too fast, they can't catch up with the Hyperion at all. They can only follow the Hyperion far away. Su Yan on the Hyperion, looking at the backs of the group of Star Lords behind him, couldn't help but sneer. Su Yan steered the Hyperion, and quickly left the area. In the back, a huge vortex is constantly spinning. This vortex is devouring the Interstellar Lords. The Interstellar Lords wanted to escape from this vortex, but they were absorbed into the vortex by this vortex, and disappeared into the space channel. Su Yan flew the Hyperion into the sky. Accelerate. Su Yan controls the Hyperion and accelerates to fly forward. The speed of the Hyperion is very fast. An ordinary aircraft can't catch up at all. The speed of this Hyperion is actually so fast. This is a space battleship. The damn guy actually drove the space battleship away. Seeing this scene, the Star Lords became anxious. They want to snatch the space battleship. They don't want the space battleship to escape. They also want to get benefits from the space battleship. The speed of the Hyperion is really too fast. Those Star Lords can't catch up at all. The Star Lords can only adorn the Hyperion from a distance. Hyperion, speed up again, throwing off those Star Lords. Seeing the Star Lords behind him, all of them were far away from him. Su Yan couldn't help urging, SHHHHHH. The Hyperion speeded up again, sprinting forward. Damn it, Hyperion, you've had enough rest. Stop now. Seeing the Hyperion speeding up again, these Star Lords were all furious. They are a group of extremely noble interstellar lords. How could they be wronged like this? The Hyperion actually wanted to abandon them. This Hyperion is too arrogant. Many interstellar lords cursed angrily. They wanted to stop the Hyperion from continuing to accelerate, but they couldn't catch up with the Hyperion. The Hyperion flew until it was 3.7 hundreds of billions of kilometers away from the interstellar battleship, and then stopped. Under the unwilling eyes of the interstellar lords, Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and flew forward. The Star Lords, seeing that the Hyperion escaped, were all extremely angry. The Hyperion was flying so fast that they couldn't catch up at all. Not long after, the Hyperion disappeared into the starry sky. The Star Lords could only watch as the Hyperion left, and then they returned to that galaxy. The Hyperion, on its way to the Milky Way, encountered other interstellar warships, but after seeing Su Yan's warship, they also ran away in fright. These interstellar warships, in front of the Hyperion, are like chickens and dogs. There was no room for them to resist, and they were easily killed by the Hyperion. After flying for 3 years, the Hyperion finally flew to the Milky Way. At the edge of the galaxy, there are many space battleships, and they have built cities here. The Hyperion stayed in an interstellar base, on the outskirts of the Milky Way. This interstellar base has a size of several million square meters, and the interior decoration of this interstellar base is very luxurious. The most senior political officials of the Interstellar Alliance lived in this base, as well as figures in power of some business groups. And inside the base, there are many space fighters. The defense measures of this base are very strict. This base has been in this galaxy for a while. The interstellar fighters here are all specially trained, and their combat effectiveness is very strong. The humans in this base are all interstellar lords from other galaxies. They also all know what the galaxy they are in looks like. 23. This galaxy, like those galaxies, is part of the universe, and the lords of their galaxies and other galaxies also exist in the same way. On the outskirts of this galaxy, there are many interstellar lords, and they are all stationed around the base, monitoring the situation of this galaxy. These interstellar lords all want to take this galaxy as their own. Here in the Milky Way, they can't shoot at will. They are all Star Lords, and they have to abide by the rules. In other galaxies, Star Lords can be unscrupulous. They can attack any person or galaxies at will. Once these interstellar lords find that humans have entered their galaxy, they will directly use various energy weapons to attack. They absolutely do not allow the residents in their own galaxy to enter the galaxy they occupy. That's why they are so nervous. They are afraid that the residents in their territory will be bullied by those interstellar lords. The Hyperion, which Lord's battleship dared to break into our galaxy. That human battleship is a battleship of level 2400 civilization. The 24th level civilization dared to enter our planet. It seems that it is boring. We immediately launched an attack to destroy that battleship, and let this human being taste the power of our interstellar lord. Some interstellar lords were all excited. They have been looking for those battleships of level 24 civilization, and now they finally found a battleship of level 24 civilization. They are naturally unwilling to let go of this opportunity. A group of interstellar lords flew to the side of the Hyperion one after another, preparing to attack the Hyperion. The Hyperion can only dodge, but the Star Lords have no intention of giving up on the Hyperion at all. They continue to attack the Hyperion and want to destroy it. Rumble. Suddenly, a strong flame erupted inside the Hyperion. Inside the Hyperion, a huge black gas jetted out from the Hyperion and flew in all directions. All the interstellar lords approaching the Hyperion were swallowed up by this black gas, and they instantly turned into ashes and dissipated. A large amount of artillery fire spewed out from the muzzle of the Hyperion, and the Star Lords were blown to pieces by this terrifying artillery fire. Boom! There were several rounds of artillery fire, and a large number of interstellar lords turned into ashes and dissipated in this space. The combat power of this is very terrifying. Its great deterrent power. Once the Hyperion fires, it will produce an extremely astonishing power. All the interstellar warships within a certain range were killed, and even a nearby planet was destroyed. Here Su Yan can display his combat power unscrupulously, making all enemies feel fear. The Hyperion, in this galaxy, is just an insignificant existence. In the entire galaxy, there are countless warships like this. These warships are very low level, not worth mentioning. Some lords don't even know that the Hyperion is the top existence in the galaxy. They all believed that the Hyperion was the weakest warship in the galaxy. This Hyperion is the overlord of the galaxy, and no interstellar lord can compete with it. Even some battleships of the 5th level civilization are not the opposite of the Hyperion. In this galaxy, no 5th level civilization dares to provoke the Hyperion. The battleship of the Hyperion was constantly speeding, and he flew towards the center of the galaxy. And all of this, the Star Lords at the center of the galaxy don't know, and they don't know that the Hyperion is their enemy. They are still enjoying life. The Hyperion traveled unimpeded along the way without any interception. The Hyperion is like a magnet, constantly attracting the attention of the Star Lords, making these Star Lords want to gain control of the Hyperion. The Hyperion went on a rampage all the way, and all the interstellar lords were defeated by the Hyperion. A Hyperion can actually overthrow hundreds of Star Lords. This is really shocking. The Hyperion 350 flew through space for a long time, and finally arrived at its destination. After arriving at the destination, the Hyperion stopped and landed on a planet. The Hyperion was moored here, immediately attracting the attention of countless people. It turned out to be the Hyperion. No wonder it was able to kill hundreds of our starships. But although the Hyperion is very powerful, we are not afraid of him. These people, we can kill them all. Good idea. We have many powerful warships. He has a lot of resources. We can rob the Hyperion and turn it into our warship. They live in the universe and naturally need a lot of resources. The resources in the galaxy are not a problem for them. They can search at will. Whether it is mineral deposits, resources, or interstellar resources, they can get them. The Hyperion is the overlord in the galaxy, but it is not a very powerful force in the entire galaxy. Their interstellar lords also have some concerns. After all, they have seen the powerful strength of the Hyperion, so they are also very worried about their warships. If they encounter the Hyperion, their battleship, I am afraid it will be easily destroyed. In that case, the loss will be heavy. They didn't rush to send troops to the Hyperion, but now, they changed their minds, and they decided to go to the Hyperion to snatch the warship. Now the Hyperion has become a colossus in the universe. Its speed is very fast, and its attack power is powerful. It is one of the top warships in the galaxy. In the cosmic space, almost no warship can match it. This time when Su Yan went to war, he took Officer Hyperion with him. The Hyperion is the lifeblood of the Hyperion, and only by obtaining the Hyperion can he have even more powerful power. The Hyperion was on a rampage all the way, and all the interstellar lords were just ants in front of it. Soon, they came to the other side of the Milky Way, which is the star field at the center of the Milky Way. The Hyperion made a beautiful turn and entered the central area. The star field of the Milky Way is also an independent space. In the star field of the Milky Way, there are countless cities and many civilized races that thrive here. It is precisely because the vitality of these civilizations is relatively tenacious that they can continue to the present and live very stably in the Milky Way. However, behind the Hyperion, there are several large civilized races following the Hyperion. They were also looking for the weakness of the Hyperion, and before the Hyperion could respond, They attacked the Hyperion by surprise and destroyed it. The Hyperion's flight speed is very fast, and ordinary civilizations rarely go to the Hyperion area. The Hyperion's defense is very powerful. Except for some special attack energy weapons, general attacks can't cause any damage to the Hyperion at all. Apart from leaving traces on the Hyperion, causing damage to the Hyperion and affecting it to a certain extent, there is nothing to do about the Hyperion. Boom! The lords of these civilized races desperately attack the Hyperion in front, but the Hyperion's defensive power is too strong. The Star Lords can't help the Hyperion at all. Su Yan, do you think you can escape from our grasp with your defense? Do you think we are unprepared? Su Yan, do you think your defense is very strong? Let me tell you, we civilized races have already prepared energy weapons to attack you. Our attack energy star weapons are all very powerful. These civilized races have already researched energy weapons that can completely destroy warships like yours. I want to see how long a battleship like yours can last. Su Yan, I advise you to surrender obediently, otherwise, you will die very miserable. We have many ways to kill you. These Star Lords, while talking, fired all kinds of energy weapons to bombard the Hyperion. The Hyperion's defense is very strong, and their attacks can't pose any threat to the Hyperion at all. Boom boom boom. All kinds of attacks frantically bombarded the Hyperion. The shield of the Hyperion is still so powerful. Its speed is also very fast, shuttling through the galaxy. We have developed a super electromagnetic gun. Can you block the attack of the super electromagnetic gun? If you don't want to be caught without a fight, then we will launch this super electromagnetic gun. At that time, the shield of your battleship will definitely not be able to withstand this super electromagnetic gun, and you will be torn into pieces in an instant. You better give up resisting. In this case, maybe your life can be saved. These interstellar lords spoke one after another. Hearing the clamor of the interstellar lords, Su Yan raised the corners of his mouth slightly and showed a sneer. The defensive power of the Hyperion is far beyond what you can compare. If you want to destroy the Hyperion, then you just try it. The Hyperion, in the Milky Way, is the top warship, even if it is a taller battleship. The Hyperion's defense can easily withstand it. The Hyperion is not afraid of their attacks at all, and the Hyperion can easily counterattack. The attack power of the Hyperion is incredible. In the Milky Way, the Hyperion can be ranked among the top 3. These attacks do not pose any threat at all to the Hyperion. These interstellar lords didn't know the true situation of the Hyperion at all, so they dared to say such words. If they knew that the Hyperion's defense was far stronger than they imagined, they would never dare to say such a thing. But they all believed that their round of attack was enough to destroy the Hyperion. Haha, Su Yan, now you know how to be scared, right? Su Yan, this is the price you pay for annoying us. Our energy weapons are very powerful. Even the starships in the universe cannot withstand our attacks. No matter how powerful your defense is, it is useless. Su Yan, our super electromagnetic gun is about to launch, and by then, we will be able to destroy you. Our attack power is very powerful. If you are attacked by us, then you will definitely be completely destroyed. These interstellar lords are full of confidence, thinking that Su Yan is dead this time. Their faces are very proud. These energy weapons of theirs are very powerful. Chan knew us. They also believed that these energy weapons of their own would definitely be able to destroy the Hyperion. However, at this moment, a terrifying energy fluctuation suddenly came. Boom Longxian. After this terrifying energy fluctuation appeared, the defensive energy weapons on the Hyperion also sent out a violent shock. What's going on? How could this be? Could it be that our super electromagnetic gun doesn't work against the Hyperion? Damn, how could this happen? My super electromagnetic gun is very powerful. How could it be offset by the Hyperion? These interstellar lords all exclaimed again and again, and they all had expressions of disbelief. At this moment, they saw an incredible scene. Behind that terrifying energy fluctuation, a super electromagnetic gun appeared again. The whole body of the super electromagnetic gun exudes a light yellow light. These lights are very dazzling, like gold, and this super electromagnetic gun seems to contain a huge source of energy. The energy of this super electromagnetic gun is very abundant. At this time, the super electromagnetic gun also slowly approached the shield of the Hyperion. This super electromagnetic gun is exactly the energy weapons they fired just now. Although their attack power is very powerful, they have no effect on the Hyperion. After seeing the scene in front of them, these interstellar lords were stunned. They never thought that the Hyperion still possessed such a defensive capability. They originally thought that the energy shield of the Hyperion had reached its limit. Unexpectedly, the Hyperion still hides such an ability. If this continues, our energy weapons will not be able to destroy the shield of the Hyperion at all. We must find a way to reduce the energy zone shield 540 of the Hyperion string. Yes, I also thought of a way. We can transfer our planet to other places, and then we can use other energies. That's a good idea. Let's do it. Yes, I think so too. These interstellar lords all nodded in agreement. After all, these interstellar lords of them can control various planets, and their methods are also very powerful. Su Yan looked at the group of interstellar lords, with a mocking smile on his face. He sneered and said, "Do you really think that my battleship can be destroyed if you want to?" As Su Yan said, he directly controlled the super warship and attacked the group of interstellar lords. What? This battleship can actually mobilize energy. Moreover, the super radar on this battleship can also scan everything here. It is impossible for our super battleship to avoid it. Damn it, let's leave this place quickly. The power of this battleship is too terrifying. These interstellar lords became flustered at this moment, urging one after another, "Get out of here quickly. We will leave now. We will retreat immediately." Ha ha, this battleship is nothing more than that. We don't believe it. With our energy weapons, we can't destroy this battleship. As long as we can destroy this battleship, then everyone in this battleship to die, including Su Yan, is no exception. Yes, as long as this warship is destroyed, Su Yan must also die. These interstellar lords were extremely excited, as if they had seen the scene of them destroying Su Yan. Their dreams will soon be shattered. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and charged towards the group of interstellar leaders. Bang bang. The Hyperion's attack hit these interstellar lords again and again, and each of these interstellar lords panicked. On the Hyperion, terrifying energy beams spewed out continuously, aiming at the group of interstellar lords and bombarding them. These interstellar lords are desperately dodging and resisting. At this time, the energy beams of the Hyperion have become less and less and thinner. These interstellar lords all know that if this continues, the energy on the Hyperion will be exhausted sooner or later. In the end, they will also be unable to cause effective damage to the Hyperion. At this time, these interstellar lords also began to attack the Hyperion frantically. They used energy cannons to attack the Hyperion. Even if they used these energy cannons, their energy cannons hit the Hyperion, but only slightly changed the shield of the Hyperion. It simply cannot cause effective damage to the Hyperion. At this time, this group of interstellar lords finally discovered the abnormality. Not good. The energy shield of this battleship is already very weak. Our attack should be able to form a fatal blow to it. Yes. Now, let's use the most violent energy attack to completely destroy it. As long as it is destroyed, the Hyperion will be completely finished. In that case, Su Yan must die. Okay, so do it. Rumble. The Star Lords fired their super energy cannons one after another, and bombarded Su Yan's Hyperion one after another. At this time, the shield of the Hyperion trembled violently again, and cracks began to appear on the shield of the Hyperion. Su Yan looked at these shields with a sneer on his face, and he snorted coldly. "Your super energy cannon is really powerful. It can break the shield of my battleship, but do you think it is so easy to destroy my battleship? You are wrong. Our attack does not have any effect, because we have mastered the weakness of your energy weapons. We can use energy cannons to carry out long-distance energy cannon attacks, and destroy the armor of this battleship." The hood gives a breakdown. The interstellar lords shouted one after another. They were all insane. At this time, their energy cannon attack had reached the shield of the Hyperion. A series of energy beams landed on the shield of the Hyperion, and then it was seen that the thick shield was defeated. The interstellar lords started the second round of cannon attacks. Rumble. Their energy cannons attacked Su Yan's Hyperion again. At this time, bursts of loud noises reached their ears. Puffs of smoke and dust emanated from the Hyperion, and their vision became blurred. They were all shrouded in thick fog, unable to open their eyes. Not good. Our energy consumption is too high. Get out of here quickly. If this continues, it will be very difficult for us to destroy this battleship. Damn it, it's all Su Yan's fault. If it wasn't for him, how could we have lost so many energy weapons? At this time, the interstellar lords roared one after another, roaring with incomparable anger. All right, since you want to leave, I'll send you away. As he spoke, Yin manipulated the Hyperion to fly towards the group of Star Lords. Su Yan drove the Hyperion, chased and killed them all the way, forcing the group of interstellar lords to flee everywhere.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.